A logical consequence is when you can't allow the natural consequence to happen. You can't allow a 2-year-old out in the middle of the road and get killed. You can't do that. So the logical consequence for that, or even a 10-year-old, you run out in the road and you're liable to get hurt. Can't do that anymore. So this is what you got to do. You've got to put that kid, because they're dangerous, put them in the backyard and lock the gate. Is that right? That's a logical consequence. So they don't get killed by the natural result. And so this is what happened. This one mother come up and says, every morning we always are yelling and screaming because the kids turn the TV on and then they're late for the bus and they're late to go to school. And it's a great big problem. It's a big hassle. Now what can I do? I says, well, you got to get punishment and you got to have consequences. Stop yelling. It doesn't do any good to yell. She says, well, what can I do? I says, you think about it. Give them a memorable consequence. She says, well, what do you do? They turn the TV on. And I say, well, what are you doing? She says, I turn it off. They turn it on. I turn it off. They turn it on. I turn it off. They turn it on, off. I said, that's nothing. That'll just wear out your switch. She says, well, I'll think about it. And then she come back. She says, this is a good story. Got a good story to share. What is it? What had happened? Well, I did a logical consequence because the natural consequence was, untenable. I didn't want to have them late to school every day. So, well, what did you do? She says, well, I didn't say anything anymore. She says, I'll never argue about the TV again in the morning, kids. The rule is don't turn it on. Did they pay any attention? The next morning, what happened? One of the 6 kids turned it on. And they were late. Came time to go. She got this one little kid to preschool, put him in the car, started off. 2 of the kids weren't ready. They come running down the street after her with their shoes in their hand. Mother, wait. Off she goes. Love you. And the kids came home and they said, where's the TV? She says, it's gone. It's gone? How come? Well, we have a rule. If the TV goes on in the morning, it's gone for a week. You didn't tell us about that rule. You didn't ask. But it's gone for a whole week. That's right. Somebody turned it on. Raymond turned it on. No, Susan turned it on. Never mind, sweethearts. It went on. It's gone for a week. Dad comes home. Where's the TV? Mama took it for a week. He goes into withdrawal. TV's gone for a week. What do I do? They got it back after a week. But Mama says first, she says, kids, we got a really neat rule around here. What is it about TV in the morning? If it goes on in the morning before school, it's gone for a week. She says, First time it's a week. The second time it's 30 days. Dad goes into withdrawal already. Then she come back in about a month. She says, I got a postscript to that story. She said, I didn't have any TV on at all for about 2 months. It was just quiet as a mouse in the morning. Boy, nobody did anything. Because Mama had acted, do you understand? Then she said, then I heard the TV go on one morning for about a second and a half it went on. You could hear it go, just about like that. Somebody had turned it on. She said about 5 people jumped, whoever it was. Turn it on, get up. And then somebody got decked, man, and it went off. She says, I couldn't stand it. I went in the bathroom and just laughed my head off. So it was so... Does this make sense? Consequence. If your kids know they're going to lose their bed or they're going to lose their privilege, instead of you just hollering and belly aching and crabbing and nagging about it, they will do something if you do a consequence, okay? All right, well, I got to ask you this. Have you the strength to stand back and allow an irresponsible child to crash and burn? Can you do that? That is the sign of a great parent. I didn't say get killed. He's out on the road. I told him that's it, Bam! There he goes. Well, we got 4 more. That's okay, we got to... So don't be silly on me. You got to let them crash and burn. Little Herkimer, your teacher says you're flunking 2nd grade, Herkimer. I don't care. I don't want the spelling. And Mama jumps in and tries to get him to the spelling. Hold your pencil. And he can't hold his pencil. Can you make a kid study? You can't make him. Well, son, I went through 2nd grade. I got my 2nd grade already. If you don't want to, you can flunk 2nd grade. If you don't do your spelling, you don't do your work, she said you're going to put you back. Well, I don't want to pull back. You better do your thing. I'm not going to worry about it. There's a lot of good reasons for flunking 2nd grade. You already know half the stuff. Next year ought to be pretty easy. Besides that, you'll probably be the biggest kid in class. You can beat up everybody. Another reason you just kind of let go for the rest of the year. What the heck? Have fun. I don't want to flunk. I'll go right. Well, then do your math or do your stuff. That's your problem. I got on my kids till they were sick of me. And then after they had not done well in school, some of them, then they went to college later and did great. When they turned on, they did it. If I had it to do over again, I'd say, hey, you do the school. If you're not going to study, let's go to a ball game. I would have built the relationships. Do you understand? Instead of beating them up all the time, taking their responsibility for their education. All right, the key to behavioral management is reasoning, threatening, scolding, patience, rescuing. What is it, people? What's the key? Consequences, consequences, consequences. The key to behavioral management is consequences. This lady was alone, and so she went out and to the pet store to buy a pet because she was like 80 years old. She was a retired school teacher. She knew about behavioral management. So she went in to get a pet. Didn't want a dog or something. They're so noisy, and the cat didn't pay any attention to it. And the snake, she didn't want that. But she saw this beautiful parrot. She says, I will take that parrot. How much is it? That's a $5,000 bird, lady. But you can have him free because he was owned by a retired sailor who went into trucking. Okay? And he has a bad, filthy mouth. A nasty mouth. And I got to get him out of here because the other birds are starting to cuss. So I got to get him out of here. So you take him. You take him, I'll give you food. But you can't bring him back. That's the deal for getting him free, okay? I'll give you some food. Now, you don't want him, you cook him, kill him, eat him. You do whatever you want. You cannot bring him back here. She says, okay, I can train him. So she took him, put him in the window. I've been told you're a nasty mouth. You open your mouth around here, you little sucker, and you're going to be sorry. And I mean it. Does threatening work? Does hollering work? We don't care. And some little girls walked by and he swore at him. She says, you dirty little bird, don't you ever do that again. I tell you, don't you. She took him out of the window. Did it do any good to scold him now? Didn't do a bit of good. The next morning, she put him back in the window. She says, you swear again and I'll tell you, blah, blah. And the little girls walked by. And this time he did it twice as loud, twice as dirty, and in her voice. And she grabbed him, you dirty little bird, you rotten little person. And she grabbed him and the phone rang. Well, what do you do to a bird? She ran over to the freezer and stuck him in the freezer and slammed the door and went back and started talking on the phone. Oh, yeah, Mabel. Yeah. Oh, I can be there. Oh, yeah. You're going to get a committee. She talked for an hour, people. Totally forgot the bird. We have a tropical bird in the freezer. Okay? As soon as she hung up, her brain kicked back in. She ran back and got the bird. Oh, she was sorry, but didn't mean to. But that bird is almost frozen. It was crusty. She pulled him out and it was crusty all over, and she set him on there. A little bit of the crust fell off, and she set him on the pilot light. It was kind of warm for his feet, and he's sitting there. And she says, are you ever going to cuss in this house again? Oh, no. Do you know how mad I am at people who cuss? Am I ever going to have any problem with you? No. Do you have any questions? Do you know what consequences are? And you do something wrong around here, you're going to get it. Do you know that? This scared the out of this bird here. He was really upset. This woman was a mad woman. And she says, do you have any questions, you dirty little bird? He raised up his one little feather and he's shaking. What? One question. What did the turkey do? That turkey, whatever the turkey did, he was really in trouble because he was laid out. Okay? Do you understand what consequences are? Okay.